Hello everybody, welcome to JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. Today is the first session under the newly launched series that is Hero to Superhero. Now this particular series will serve as the one-stop solution for your concepts as well as the quality questions. When I talk about this particular series, it is not only for the beginners but also for those people who have already attempted the JAIIB examination multiple times. Still they are unable to crack the exam for one reason or the other. So always remember, whenever you are attending this series for any subject, be it PPB, RBWM, IIFS or AFM, you must participate. Your participation will matter a lot. We will be trying to have a good discussion around the concepts along with the quality questions. So these questions you must answer. Fine. You must try to participate in answering these questions, because ultimately in the examination hall you have to do what? You have to solve the questions, solve the problems. And if you have the practice beforehand how to approach a question, then it will be an easier journey for you in the examination hall. Fine. So as today is the first lecture for PPB, I will be talking about some generic topics as well. First of all, the registration fee for your registration of your JAIIB examination is mentioned here. The last date has now been extended to 30th August. If you have not registered yet, do register as soon as possible. And the examination dates will be 2nd November for IFS, 8th November for your PPB, 9th for your AFM exam, and RBWM exam will be held on 16th of November. The target for PPB in your mind must be 8th of November. That by 8th of November in the morning itself, you are in a position, you are having that particular confidence that no matter what kind of question is asked today, I would be giving my 100% and solving these questions. And it will come when you have a good concrete plan. Along with the plan, you have the consistency to achieve that particular level of preparation. Plus, for PPP, what should be your module wise preference? It must be that module A should be given the prime importance. So maximum importance should be given to module A, then module B, then module C, and then module D. That is the preference order as well. Why I'm saying this? Because in module A, you will find the journal banking operations, from where good amount of questions are asked, because number of units are also high and they are directly related to our banking operations. Functions of banks, when I talk about the advances section of the bank, direct questions from module B are also plenty. Then we have banking technology and ethics in banks and financial institution. In banking technology, mind it that the latest technologies you must know, because IIBF is inclined towards asking questions from that. Ethics in bank and financial institution, you must keep in mind that the case study type of questions will be asked from here. So a mixed baggage of concepts along with the theory plus the application of these concepts will sail you through in PPB. And when I talk about the types of questions which are asked, which are very, very important for our discussion, since it's the first session for PPB. So the type of questions, mostly you can categorize them in these 5 categories. Starting off with the case study based questions, then we have some data based question as well as multiple statement. In these case study based question, you will be given a hypothetical situation. Fine, some hypothetical situation will be given, and based on your knowledge, what you have gained by studying module A, B, C, and D, you will have to answer it. And keep this thing in mind that the statements from where we would be having the case study based questions, they are peculiar enough to confuse you in the exam. So we, in this particular series, that is Hero to Superhero, we will be trying to cover that level as well, the level of questions which are being asked in the actual exam. Then we have database question. For such type of questions, your approach should be that I will be revising again and again, because see, data, you have to retain it. And if you are unable to retain that data, your learning exercise will be a futile one. So how you will be retaining a data? By revising multiple times. Then we have multiple statement based questions also. These multiple statement based questions, again, they will be bulky ones. Fine. When I say bulky ones, they will be one or two statements. Answer is no. There will be more than seven statements, sometimes eight statements also asked in the exam. So you have to have that reading speed as well. Plus, there will be questions based on formulas also. Some uh, coverage of financial ratios will be there, like DSCR is there in our syllabus. For that matter, you have to remember the formula for A and BC while calculating the priority sector lending. All these things you must be very diligent and mind it when I say this. 15 to 20 questions were asked in one shift of May 2025 exam in PPB based on the formulas only. The numericals were asked. Then we have real life based questions also. These questions, they are not at all given in the books. Fine. In the books, they are not given. But whether you can crack these questions or not, answer is yes. How you will be able to crack these types of questions? You have the basics with you in the form of work experience. Whatever situations you have faced in the actual real life of your banking, that can be utilized to crack such type of questions. That is real life based questions, whatever experience you have gained in the real life banking. Fine. So as mentioned here also, for three the first three, case study based, data based, and multiple statement, your focus should be on regulations, whatever regulations are there by the RBI, or for that matter the regulations based on the government of India's, you can say, measures taken by the government. Then who will be the reporting authority? There are various chapters like the RTI, right to information technology chapter is there in module A. Then we have a chapter of recovery also. There we must know that who will be the reporting authority. If a deviation occurs, to whom we must report it. Plus line. The resolution of a particular case must be done following a particular TAT, that is turnaround time. That particular timeline you must remember. From here, good amount of questions are asked. Okay, so I hope that now you are in a position where you know for sure that yes, these five types of questions are asked at least in the PPB exam, and we will be inclining our discussion towards these type of questions as well as we move on to further classes. So let's jump on to today's topic. Today we will be talking about the debtor creditor relationship in the banker customer relationship. Fine. Along with that, we will be talking about the trustee, the bank as a trustee, how that particular relationship works. Bailee-bailor relationship, how a particular bank is termed as a bailee and why a customer will be a bailor, in which scenario it will be that. Lessor and lessee, the bank will be lessor and the customer will be a lessee, how it will happen. All these things we will be discussing along with the difference between pledge, hypothecation, and mortgage. See, this type of series which we are here presenting in front of all of you, this involves concepts as well as questions. So we will be solving the questions also in the end. So first thing first, what do we mean by a debtor and who is a creditor? Simply stated, a creditor is a credit giver and debtor is a credit seeker. If you know this thing, every type of question related to creditor debtor relationship, you can easily solve that. So the main features are, bank is free to use the money in a way most beneficial to it. If we talk about credit giver, if the bank is providing credit, then this particular activity which is being performed by the bank, it is at the prerogative of the bank only. Nobody is forcing the bank to lend. Now you would say that priority sector lending is there where RBI has obligated the banks to lend. That's true, but what portion of your lending activities should be provided to the customers, that is governed by the PSL norms, not the overall creditor, you can say, role which is defined by the bank itself. The customer should make a demand of payment. The banker is not required to pay voluntarily. So the banker is not required to pay voluntarily. Customer will come and say that yes, I need some money. Then only bank will provide the credit to the customer, and the customer will be known as the debtor. The demand should be made in a specified manner in writing by check, draft, withdrawal form, order, or otherwise during the working hours. So any form of you can say manner can be used, and it can be disbursed using any kind of instrument by the bank within the working hours. The creditor, that is the customer, does not have any security from the debtor, that is the bank. If we are talking about the first relationship here, what is going on? The customer is providing certain credit to the bank. Fine. And when we talk about whether the personal banker will be having that money, no, the bank will be depositing the money on behalf of the customer. That is it. In this case, what will happen? Since the credit or the particular check has been provided by the customer, we would say that customer will be the creditor. And when we talk about the bank which is depositing that money with it, it will be known as the debtor. That if the customer creates a demand, bank has to provide the money to the customer. The law of limitation does not begin to run until a demand has been made for repayment in case of both demand as well as fixed deposit. So whenever the customer will demand, then only the bank will be obligated to pay. That is for sure. Next, the law of limitation, as defined in the Limitation Act 1963, sets the time limits for individuals to seek legal remedies in court for various causes of action. Various types of actions can be taken by the bank, or for that matter by any financial institution, which is being defined in the Limitation Act 1963, because it sets the time limit for the individual to seek legal remedies. What will be the turnaround time for a particular task? What is the limiting time for a particular task to be completed? That also is defined under the Limitation Act 1963. So when I talk about the bank being a creditor and customer being a debtor, how the situation will flip directly in the case of loan accounts. Fine. For the loan or the advance, customer will approach the bank with a particular demand that yes, I want to have, let's suppose, 5 lakh of advance. Now, whether this demand will be met by the bank just like that, answer is no. The bank will create a background check, will check the credit worthiness of the customer, and if the credit worthiness as mentioned in as mentioned under the process of a particular bank's board fulfills, this customer fulfills that particular demand, only then 5 lakh will be disbursed. And here the bank will be the creditor, and the individual, the customer, will be the debtor. Okay. And when we talk about the creditor, will be providing loan amount to the debtor, and in return the bank will be receiving what? Interest on regular basis, and this interest will be clubbed with this principal amount of loan as well. Plus, in certain cases, there will be some assets, some collateral, which will be utilized by the bank to recover the amount of loan involved in case the customer defaults. So simply stated, in creditor debtor relationship, in loan accounts, the bank will be the creditor and the customer will be the debtor. For the deposits, we will say that bank is a debtor and customer will be the creditor or the depositor. Now let's see the relationship where bank acts as a trustee. Always remember, trustee is a particular term utilized for a financial entity which is being entrusted by somebody, by an individual or an entity, with his or her own goods. Fine. Supposingly, a customer is there who has entrusted you with the investments. That particular investment will be made by you on behalf of the customer only. That is why it is known as a trustee. The bank will be termed as a trustee, that the customer trusts your vision, your actions, whatever you are going to take in future. Trustee is a person or firm that holds and administers the property or assets for the benefit of the third party. So whatever benefit is there for a particular investment, that must be ensured by the bank. Trustees are required to make decisions in the beneficiary's best interest. Normally, when we talk about the trustee mechanism, you will have one settler, then you have the entrusted assets and the beneficiary. But for our examination, we have to focus on this relationship only, or this relationship only, that is trustee and beneficiary. So the trustee will be doing what? Trustee will be delivering the dividends of all those investments whatever has been made by the trustee on behalf of the beneficiary or the customer, and the beneficiary will be doing what? Only supervising or monitoring the actions of the trustee. Next important relationship is your Bailee-bailor relationship. See, in normal circumstances, bank will be termed as Bailee and customer will be known as a bailor. And why you should remember these customer banker relationships? Because in module A as well as in module B, we will be talking about the security documents, fine, types of security documents. Therein, various types of relationships will be termed as important, and whatever terms we are using here, we will utilize them directly while defining those relationships. So if you have your basics clear, things will be easier for you in the upcoming modules. When a customer deposits certain valuables, bonds, securities, other documents with the bank for their safe custody, the bank, besides becoming a trustee, also becomes a bailee and the customer will be termed as bailor. So the bank will be preserving these documents on behalf of the customer. So the customer will be bailor because the documents belong to the customer, and bank will be the bailee. Section 148 of the Indian Contract Act 1972 states that bank becomes custodian of the securities. Hence, as a bailee is liable for any loss caused to the bailor due to its negligence. So once the bank acts as a bailee, whatever loss has been committed or has been applied to that particular document will be the nature of responsibility for the bank. So bank will be liable. Then how it is different from lessee lessor relationship? In lessee lessor relationship, bank will act as a lessor and the customer will be a lessee. The lease agreement, as you know, it has certain important aspects attached to it. Lease agreement talks about a particular setup where are utilizing somebody's property for a particular amount of time, fine, for a particular amount of time, and while utilizing you are paying certain rent. In the banker customer relationship, what will be the prime example of such kind of relation? The locker, the safe deposit lockers will be the prime example for such kind of relationship, such kind of agreement, because you are as a customer keeping certain valuables in the locker provided by the bank, and it has been leased to the customer on a particular settlement or on a particular agreement that the customer will provide rent on a regular basis. Normally, annual rent is being charged in case of the security locker. So Section 105 of Transfer of Property Act deals with the lease, lessor, and lessee. The banks provide safe deposit lockers to the customer on lease basis. Relationship here is that of lessor and lessee, bank as lessor and customer as a lessee, or you can say bank as licensor or the customer can be licensee. The bank shall not be liable for any damage to the content of these lockers if the damage has been done due to the natural calamity. But the bank's liability will be there if there is uh, something you can say is stolen from this particular locker, or for that matter there is fire and that has been caused due to bank's own shortcomings or negligence, then the bank will be liable. When I talk about if the bank has been termed as liable for the loss, what will be the amount of recovery made to the customer. So the amount equivalent to 100 time of the prevailing annual rent of the safe deposit locker will be provided to the customer. So customer will have how much amount? 100 times the annual rent of the locker as the amount. Fine. So this was it for your important banker customer relationship. Creditor debtor, then bank as trustee, Bailee-bailor, lessee lessor, or you can say licensee licensor. Now let's move on to the difference between pledge, hypothecation, and mortgage. When I talk about these three, somewhere down the line, they are type of securities. In case of securing the loan amount, the banks take one or any kind of security based on the type of security, or for that matter type of loan. So pledge, hypothecation, and mortgage, when we talk about pledge and hypothecation, they are for the movable assets. Mortgage is for the immovable asset. Mostly we see that immovable asset is the plant and machinery, for that matter, or sometimes we also say that the prime example will be the property. Possession of security, the for pledge, under the security as pledge, the possession of security will remain to the lender who has given the money, that is the bank. Hypothecation remains with the borrower, and when we talk about mortgage, it also remains with the borrower. What are the examples of loan involved? Always remember one prime example of each of these. So gold loan is the best example for your pledge. Hypothecation, we have the best example as car or vehicle loan, and housing loans will be the best example for your mortgage. So in mortgage, what happens? The property documents will lie with the bank, but the ownership lies with the borrower only. No transfer of ownership is there. In case of hypothecation, like in car loan, what happens? The borrower is having the ownership also, and the asset is also with the borrower is having only the asset with itself, with himself or herself, but the ownership of that particular asset, that is car, will be with the bank until and unless the borrower repays the loan. For pledge, what happens? The gold ornaments, for example, in gold loan, what will happen? The gold ornaments will live in the locker or the safe deposit of the bank only. Fine. So bank will be having those gold ornaments. Okay. Now let's see the questions one by one based on whatever we have studied till now. Consider the following statements regarding different types of securities. So the first statement says, in a pledge, possession of security remains with the borrower. So we have just seen that the possession of security will remain with the lender. So this is a wrong statement. Hypothecation is typically for movable assets and possession remains with the borrower. So whether the possession remains with the borrower or not. Mortgage is primarily used for immovable property and possession usually remains with the borrower. So mortgage, whether it is for the immovable property or for that matter, the possession remains with the borrower. What do you think? Just now we have studied it. Gold loan is an example of the loan where hypothecation is used. So take some time, take 10 seconds of yours, pause the video and try to answer in the comment section also that what will be the correct answer for question number 1. So the correct answer will be option B, that is 2 and 3 only. Because when we talk about hypothecation, so it is used for movable assets and possession will remain with the borrower, but the ownership lies with the lender. So second is correct. Third statement is also correct because mortgage is primarily used for immovable property only. Fine. And the possession usually remains with the borrower. There are 4 or 5 types of mortgage which we'll be learning in the module B. There you will understand why the term usually is there, because there is one term, that is English mortgage, which is not prevalent in our country. In English mortgage, what happens? The transfer of ownership also uh, occurs in case of the mortgage, and the owner will be bank until the customer repays the loan. Gold loan is an example of loan where pledge is used. That's why fourth is also wrong. So correct answer is option B. Here again, you can pause the video and see for yourself why the statements are incorrect. Next question we have, consider the following statement regarding the bank and the customer concerning safe deposit lockers. So always remember such type of questions are very, very important. Although we have studied the customer banker relationship, but sometimes they will not be even mentioned in the statement. Like here, it has been written relationship between bank and customer is provided in the following statements, and you have to yourself decipher that which kind of relationship is this. So section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act with lessee and lessor, whether it is correct or not. In the context of safe deposit lockers, the bank is lessee and the customer is the lessor. A bank is liable for loss of locker contents arising from natural calamities like floods. The bank is not liable for loss of content. It is due to the sole fault or negligence of the customer. So what will be the right answer here? Again, I would say pause the video, have a breather of 10 seconds, try to read one statement and try to have whatever the correct answer is there in your mind and give me the right answer in the comment section. Correct answer will be option B again, that is 1 and 4. Section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act defines what? Here we have just seen Section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act deals with the lease, lessee, and lessor. And when I talk about the safe deposit lockers, the bank will be the lessor and the customer will be the leasee. So it will be a reverse, a particular reversal of whatever is written here. A bank is liable for loss of locker contents arising from natural calamity like floods. Answer is no. Bank is not liable for the natural calamity. But yes, bank is not liable for the loss of content if it is due to the sole fault of customer. Only if the bank is at fault, then it is liable. Otherwise, bank is not liable. So B will be the correct answer. Okay. Fine. After every question, explanation, detailed explanation is provided to you. You can just pause the video and read, because I want all of you to have your good reading speed as well. This session will not only serve as a one-stop solution for your concepts as well as quality questions, but also I want all of you to read a lot, because then only you would be able to read the questions in the actual exam in good speed. Next question, question number 3. Consider the following statement regarding bank's liability for the safe deposit lockers. So, first statement is banks are required to exercise appropriate care for the protection of their locker system and premises. That's a very general statement, and such kind of statements will be asked in the exam. A bank's liability for loss due to its own negligence is limited to 100 times the prevailing annual rent. That we have seen, 100 times the annual rent, or whether it was 200 times the annual rent. Banks are liable for loss of locker contents arising from the natural calamity or acts of God. The bank is not liable for loss of locker contents if it is due to the sole fault or negligence of the customer. So what will be the correct answer here? Again, option C, that is 1, 2, and 4. This statement we have already discussed. The fourth statement. First statement says that banks are required to exercise appropriate care, which is obvious. Second statement is also correct, 100 times the annual rent. Third statement is wrong because banks are not liable for any loss occurred due to the natural calamity. Okay, so this was it for today's session. We will meet in the next session with more questions, with more concepts relating to PPB. Fine. And when we talk about the JAIIB increment Mahapack, which is the paid version of our study materials, here you will get all the important and relevant study material, be it the live classes or the recorded version of those live classes, mock test, full length mock test, as well as the unit wise mock test, plus doubt resolution is also there, and you will get access to all those batches which we will be launching for November 2025 JAIIB exam. Fine. Plus, along with that, one study material will be there in the physical form also. That is JAIIB increment box. It will be delivered at your address, whatever you will fill in the website of ours. You will get the 4 books. That is one each practice book for PPB, RBWM, AFM, and IIFS. Formula sheet along with study planner and ADA 247 merchandise and affirmation cards is there. Why today is the best time to purchase this course? Because we are running the mission 2025 offer for all of you. Increment will be yours, and that is our responsibility. We will try to deliver the most relevant and quality content for all of you so that this exam in the single attempt. What will be the benefit of this particular offer? 79% flat discount plus 1% additional discount if you enroll via the ADDA 247 application, plus 2x validity on the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack. So if you purchase this Mahapack today, you will get effectively 80% discount plus 2x validity. If you are selecting 6 months, we will be providing you the validity for 12 months. If you are selecting for 12 months, we will provide you 2x validity, that is 24 months, like that. Okay, so how you will be availing this offer? Just by entering the discount coupon, that is Y1003. This is the coupon code which you can utilize for gaining the maximum discount on our courses. So hurry, because this particular offer is for a limited time period. And when I talk about the free YouTube series, which has started from today, that is 22nd of August, you will be having the remaining 3 classes also lined up today itself. We have started with PPB. Next class will be IIFS at 6:30 p.m. Then RBWM will be held at 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. you will have the AFM class. So do not miss any of these classes, because today being the lecture number 1, the first session is there for all these classes. You will get clarity about the approach, as well as you will come to know that how we will be becoming a particular banker who needs nothing but quality content. Fine. So this was it for today's class. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, goodbye, everybody. Take care.